every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change, and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government. A lot of it,
because you focus on 80-20 issues. I'm looking at the Epstein issue as we have 80% of the information we need to prosecute these people that actually did anything, but you're focusing on the 20% trying to take down Donald Trump, which you're never going to get. So I'm going to keep sitting here with a smug-ass face on every single day.
I'll explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors.
I'm mostly on the left ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not going to go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me. I'm not a fucking fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? But they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic feds because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of speech.
leadership perspective.
Y'all have no plan. They'll never talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
Backlash after the fatal shooting of Alex Pretti by immigration agents in Minneapolis, as videos are contradicting the account that is coming from the federal government tonight. There's mourners that are paying respects to the ICU nurse on the ground in Minneapolis, as there's growing criticism coming from inside the Department of Homeland Security, where multiple DHS officials tell my colleague CNN's Priscilla Alvarez they're furious with how the agency and Secretary Kristi Noem is handling the shooting. Some of those sentiments have been fueled by what we heard from Secretary Noem earlier in a swift defense of the federal officers involved and also her claims about Pretti himself. Priscilla joins me now. And Priscilla, what are you hearing exactly from these officials? What did they make of what they're hearing from Secretary Noem?
Well, Caitlin, as they've had more time to absorb the videos that have been circulating on social media and that the American public has also been looking at and dissecting, they have grown more frustrated and more concerned, not only about the shooting incident, but also the public response by the Department of Homeland Security. These are officials who are keenly aware that they risk even more reputational harm, which affects them in their operations and could also have long-term consequences that they are going to have to wrestle with in the years to come. Now, of course, this is all stemmed really from what they've seen online and what they've heard from the Trump administration. And in my conversations, they simply can't square, just as many other people who've observed this can't, what happened in that shooting incident and what the Department of Homeland Security Secretary has been saying. As you mentioned, Caitlin, she swiftly defended the agent yesterday and this morning did much of the same. Take a listen.
He came to that scene and impeded a law enforcement operation, which is against federal law. It's a felony. When he did that, interacting with those agents, when they tried to get him to disengage, he became aggressive and resisted them.
Now, she's also said that the intent here was to massacre law enforcement, that he was brandishing a weapon. And in the videos that have been made public, none of that appears to be true. And that is what Homeland Security officials are wrestling with. And their concern is that ultimately the secretary is doing a disservice to the department. In fact, one Homeland Security official told me the following, quote, "The department needs a law enforcement leader, not a sycophant." In addition to that, I've heard that some Border Patrol agents who are on the ground in Minneapolis are starting to become unconvinced that this is a productive use of time, and that is doing operations there, given the tenuous situations that they are finding themselves in. So certainly, Caitlin, there are fractures within the Department of Homeland Security over this incident and the way the Trump administration has handled it so far.
Yeah, Priscilla Alvarez, thank you for that reporting. Anderson is back on the ground in Minneapolis. And Anderson, I think just given Priscilla's reporting, it also stands out that we heard from the Border Patrol official in charge earlier saying all those agents that you see in that video, they are still on the job. They just have been reassigned to other scenes, he said, out of concern for their safety.
And we have no update on any aspect of this investigation. And as you know, state officials are not part of this investigation, and according to state officials, they weren't allowed to the crime scene to do any kind of investigation or examination on their own, even though they had a search warrant signed by a judge. So there's a lot of questions about what sort of an investigation, actually, who are they actually investigating, and what are they investigating if they are.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Described him as one of the most dangerous men on the face of the earth.
Welcome to the Man Cave. Welcome to the Man Cave on Gray Mars.
It's Mia, not Maya.
What's up? I'm Doc.
85 Slim.
Mr. Rippy Unfiltered.
Ken Billions. What's happening?
All right, Mia. So you're the first one that talked about this shooting on Saturday when it first happened. So what's your take on it?
I think it was very messy. I think it was not justified. I think Americans have the right to carry. It's our constitutional right. And until we find out otherwise, he was lawfully carrying. People can carry in Minnesota as long as you have your ID on you and a permit. And it is actually legally up to the person to disclose that to the police. So, I mean, we need to stop assuming that just because someone has a firearm concealed that they're there to cause harm. I feel like that's very biased, and it shouldn't take eight fully grown men to subdue one man who's already on the ground and then you shoot him while he's on the ground. I mean, it's very suspicious. After Renee Good was killed by the officer, within 2 days, we had the body cam footage and we had videos. So why is it taking them so long to release any body cam footage of the 6 officers? federal agents that were there? What don't they want us to see? There's just a lot of questions.
So we're going to be forensics tonight. We're going to go by this piece by piece. So this is when he got pistol whipped.
No! Leave them alone, you motherfuckers! Stop fucking hitting them! Stop! Tell your fucking boys to stop! Step up that way. I'm standing as far as I can. Get over there.
So, Doc, you see he was pistol whipped in the video. Do you feel like that should have subdued him and made him be able to be placed under arrest or, de-escalated the situation?
I'm like 100% sure that that's probably even against their department. Any regulation they have to strike someone with your weapon, I'm pretty sure like that isn't what they teach them. They give them a lot of different less lethal options. I don't think slapping somebody with them like they owe you money at the dice game, slapping them with the burner. I don't think that's the answer to trying to subdue somebody who you're trying to place under arrest. Also, I see a lot of people saying he didn't have his permit on him. Oh God. He didn't have a ticketable offense. That's a ticketable offense if you don't have your permit. I don't even know the laws in Minnesota, but I've lived in states where you had to have a permit and it's just a ticket. Like it's not even a big deal. So I just don't think that that's the way to do it. If that's the way they were trying to subdue him, I think they had already sprayed him with some OC spray. They have tasers. They have less lethal options. I don't think hitting them with your firearm is a valuable option of trying to subdue somebody. They give them batons and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure they don't teach them that. So I don't get why that was even a thing.
So there was a big question about him being disarmed. So this is the video slowed down. Ken, I don't know if you've seen the video, but it looks like they were able to take his weapon. Do you feel like once his weapon was taken, he was no longer a threat to ICE officers?
He was never a threat. He was never a threat. For one of the pink coat ladies video, he was defending a woman and he immediately got pepper sprayed straight to the face. These people that are, first off, one of the problems to do this job, these are very low paid working class people. So it's the working class versus the working class. That's number one. Number two, he was defending a woman and he got pepper sprayed straight to the face. So these people are not there for conflict resolution. Number three, what is very interesting about this situation though, especially from those that are lean more conservative, I thought conservatives were against big government. And since in the last year, we have National Guard on the street, then we have federal agents on the street. One thing I know about how governments work, this is the new normal, I believe. I don't think this is ever going to go away. I think we're going to continue to have military-style personnel walking the streets of America, right? And after a while, it becomes the new normal. But for people that are really against big government, this is big government right here, though.
Okay, so I'm gonna play the video of the actual incident. Is it supposed to sound like that?
The fuck, people!
Somebody's
What the fuck is wrong with you? Honestly! What the fuck did you just do? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Can you go back to the beginning?
God. Oh my God!
Yeah. I'm gonna have Mr. Rippey respond with the video off. What were you trying to see, Mia?
Because if you go back to the beginning, everybody keeps saying he's interfering, but if you keep going, all right, sorry, go, stop, there we go forward, because it doesn't really seem like he's interfering like that, because you have the woman here, you have him here, but it seems like he was just defending this woman. It doesn't seem like he was in ICE's face or anything, because ICE pushes the lady, there he is saying, what the hell's going on?
You'll see the other video. There's another video prior to this.
Okay.
This is a bystander that he's helping. So he's already, his hands are on a bystander. So he's not even engaging with this officer right here, right? His hands are holding a bystander. The officer walks up, pushes the lady. He leaves the bystander and goes towards the lady. And that's when he has the confrontation with the ICE officer who pepper sprays him. So to me, that really isn't obstructing, because it looks like he's helping out a bystander. Because that's a bystander right there. That's not an ICE agent. And because the bystander turns around and helps the lady that's on the ground.
Right.
So everybody keeps saying he's obstructing, but he doesn't seem to be really obstructing.
Okay. So, Mr. Rippey, we know you're MAGA. So how do you feel about the situation? let me unmute you.
Why everybody was saying my MAGA? Because I voted for him. No, I'm definitely MAGA. But shout out to me. I just saw it in a group chat what you're talking about. I'm glad your son is doing okay.
Thank you.
You didn't hear me earlier. I still can't believe you have a 15-year-old that's 6'3". Was that the truth?
Yes, my my kid's 6'3".
That's crazy. I'll only 15. That's what's up. But yeah, no, I agree with what Mia was saying earlier, and actually, I agree with some of what Cam was saying. At the end of the day, conservatives were not for a big government. I don't consider this big government. I consider when they left the borders wide open for these people to come in, ICE would not be out there. When these cities are okay with crime and they're justifying crime, I understand why the National Guards has to be there, because we're not for more crime. We're for less crime. And they're letting these people out of prison. You know, people have been arrested 45, 50 times, and they back out in the streets and they're killing people. So I understand the concept of National Guards. As for this particular situation, I think that the ICE agents, some of them were overreacting. I'm not justifying what they're doing. At the end of the day, Minnesota, just like Arizona, there's a law that says you don't have to tell the officers that you actually are carrying. 12 states that you do. But when you apply for your CCW, your concealed weapons permit, they always tell you, if you ever encounter law enforcement, let them know that you're carrying. So I tell people all the time, like I'm telling people since this whole incident happened, whenever I'm encountering law enforcement, I always let them know I'm carrying, and I stay back. I don't give a damn. You can push your girl. I'm going to mind my business. I'm going to stay back because I know what the consequences may be, even if lawfully he wasn't impeding. But at the end of the day, why put your life in danger like that?
So Slim, you want the other angle, so I'm gonna play the other angle, then you can respond.
Come here, come on. Come here. It is. Oh my God! This is so fucked up. Oh my God! It's fucked up. That's so fucked up. He was only helping. Oh my God. Oh my God.
So Slim, my bad. That was another angle. That was an aftermath. But what's your take on it?
First off, nobody deserves to lose their lives. I'm gonna just start there. But it's always the aftermath. That's what America is reacting to, which is the aftermath. There's another video of him standing in the middle of the street with the phone blocking the ICE agents. Then there's another video of him in the ICE agent's face, all prior to this incident. These are the things that people are not showing. So at the end of the day, why are we there as American citizens trying to protect people who've stolen from our government? I don't get why the person is out there protesting this shit. It doesn't make sense to me. So you're putting yourself in harm's way. This situation just happened with Miss Renee Good literally a week ago. Everybody's on edge. Why are you out there? You are a doctor, a veterinarian doctor at that. Why are you out there? That's my point. It's like people are reacting to what's taking place. This is what it looks like. Again, the president said he's going to launch the biggest deportation in history. Like, this is what it looks like. And we're being surprised, like it's not supposed to look like this. Nobody's just gonna tell them to come outside and they coming downstairs and they with their hands up in the air. This is what you're seeing.
But Slim, isn't that the Christian thing to do for people to be out there?
No, because those people are here illegally. ICE is not just here to kill American citizens.
This land was taken illegally, so why can't they be out there? What's the issue?
Bro, we are in 2026.
So what?
And
this land was
taking place in Minnesota.
Slim doesn't like to rehash the past, but I would just ask Slim. Slim, you named 2 different times he had an interaction with the ICE agents. Which one of those should have caused him to be shot like a dog in the street?
None of them. 0. Here's the thing. Why are you protesting? Why you ain't at the crib? We at the crib.
Because he has the legal right to protest, Slim. Why do you do all the things you do that you have the legal right to do? He has the legal right, even if you don't agree with him. He has the legal right to do it. He's not breaking the law.
Where is he now?
But he's not breaking the law. He's shot down in the street like a dog.
Where is he now?
That brings me to my next clip. So let's play this for Alice. This was his hospital honoring him.
Terrence Lee Randolph, March 30th, 1947, December 10th, 2024. Today we remember that freedom is not free. We have to work at it, nurture it, protect it, and even sacrifice for it. May we never forget and always remember our brothers and sisters who have served so that we may enjoy the gift of freedom. So in this moment, we remember and give thanks for their dedication and selfless service to our nation in the cause of our freedom. In this solemn hour, we render our honor and our gratitude.
That was actually Alex himself. Go ahead and talk. I'm gonna play it.
Real quick too, right? If this wasn't messy, why was it so important for them to character assassinate this man very quickly, right? And give him labels, right? They didn't call him a nurse. They didn't even want to call him a citizen, right? They automatically went to domestic terrorism, right? They know that the American public on average reads at a 5th grade level. So they immediately came with certain labels. They didn't say son, right? You know, when an officer gets killed in the line of duty, they immediately go to, he's a husband. He's a father. He goes to church. They have to humanize him for the public, right? They got on this so quickly and started labeling him. Not just that, they started shadow banning people, right? They started shadow banning people that were talking about this moment because they know that these optics are fucked up. So they immediately started talking to their base that is not going to fact check none of this shit.
Okay, so I'm gonna play where he was actually honored. My bad. So this is where he was honored. I believe it was at the exact same hospital.
Detail. Yellow 10. Freeze in. Arms.
So Mia, your father is a veteran and he works at the VA hospital. So do you feel like this affects the optics that this guy worked for the VA?
It definitely doesn't look good. Nothing about this entire situation looks good. Nothing like the Renee situation was very cut and dry. She was in a vehicle. We have long established vehicles are weapons of destruction. They can be used as a weapon against anybody, bystanders, the person in the vehicle, law enforcement. That's like a long-standing thing. Nobody was grappling with that. We all collectively agreed she fucked up. She should have got out. However, this is not so cut and dry. And the fact that not only was he a nurse, but he was in, people don't understand, like being a critical care nurse that's a difficult specialty. That's not like a fucking med-surg nurse where anybody can come in and do that. That's an extremely difficult specialty to be. Plus he worked at the VA and I believe he was a veteran himself. I mean, just the optics alone of this is crazy. So now we have feds not only killing nurses, but they're killing other federal workers who help the community that we desperately need medical workers. All of it is just messy. Let this be a lesson of Black people. Stay home.
So, Mr. Rippey, this is a video.
Let this be a lesson. Stay home.
I agree.
This is a video you posted. So, is this going to continue on?
Medic. Oh my god. 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 Oh my god.
I think it was a non-lethal bullet, but Mr. Rippey, you posted it. So, how do you feel about it?
I think this is all theater, man. I say this all the time. This all WWE wrestling. Everything is a stage. Even the video that you just played prior to that one of them at the hospital, there's a reason why they put that video out there. It's get people emotionally enraged. And it's all fake selective outrage at that. These people are paid protesters being out there, and something terrible happens that nobody that I know on the conservative side or the liberal side say that it's good that this guy got shot. It's good that Renee Good got shot. Nobody is justifying that. But there's a reason why all this stuff is in our faces. Either they're trying to cover up from all the stuff that Tim Walsh and Elon Omar and the elected officials of Missouri, Minnesota are all in, the $9 billion in fraud. It happens. All this stuff happens to come out at the exact same time in one state, because ICE is all over. In one state, they got us focusing on this stuff. So everybody shift our attention from that to this nonsense that's not even a big deal. Just stay home, man. I know you have the legal right to protest, but what is the point? You don't even know what you're protesting. Nobody gave a damn when Obama deported all those people. Nobody gave a damn when 67 people died in ICE custody when Obama was president. Nobody gave a damn when he dropped all those bombs. Nobody gave a shit when they stormed the White House when Trump had to be put inside an underground bunker in 2016, in 2020 as well. They only give a shit when the media tell them to give a shit to act like they are outraged about something, but it's all fake horseshit. The liberals don't give a fuck.
Mr. Rippey, the difference with the Obama presidency, there's footage of ICE agents walking up to people asking them, "Where's your ID?" They don't even have a list. So basically, they're looking at your phenotype and walking up to you. Now, mind you, where do we go from here? Because the more we are compliant on this, right? Americans are dying, by the way, right? Where do we go from here? Because federal agents are just walking up to people. They don't have them by name. So what they're doing is looking at you. They're looking at your phenotype, fam, and asking, where's your paperwork at? Now, if I recollect, that is Gestapo behavior. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's what they used to do.
We will get to that part too. But since the right wants to say their conspiracy theories, this is the left conspiracy theories on what they think is going on.
Minnesota voter registration rolls. Pam Bondi has demanded the Minnesota voter registration rolls. That's what they're after. Fox News just published a 3-page letter that she wrote to Tim Walz making several demands and a lot of complaints, if you ask me. She's whining about all the people saying how much they hate the Nazis in the state of Minnesota. Yeah. Apparently, Mayor Jacob Frey saying, "We don't want you here," hurt their fifis. The demands are the following. First, share all of Minnesota's records on Medicaid and food and nutrition service programs, including supplemental nutrition assistance program data, that's SNAP, with the federal government. Second, repeal these sanctuary policies that have led to so much, quote, crime and violence in your state. Removing criminal illegal aliens from Minnesota neighborhoods will save lives, and state and local officials, blah, 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 blah. Blah. So much for states' rights, right? Third, allow the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice to access voter rolls to confirm that Minnesota's voter registration practices comply with federal law as authorized by the Civil Rights Act of 1960. The voter registration rolls. The voter registration rolls. What exactly do you think they're going to do with those? But no, not Nazis, not Gestapo. Mind you, the Civil Rights Act of 1960 was quite literally passed to ensure that states were not discriminating against Black Americans. That's what that law was written for. Now they want to use it to ensure that that is exactly what's happening.
All right, she was kind of boring, but Doc, do you think that Republicans are trying to control voting and basically save Trump? You know, they're trying to win the midterm, so they're trying to control the electoral college of voting in states.
I'm not sure if that's what they're trying to do, but I think Republicans have hurt themselves with the image and the way they've handled these ICE things lately, these interactions. And I want to say ICE has a job to do. So I wouldn't argue that Trump won. This was one of his initiatives. This is something he said he was going to do. But I think when you have the AG come out and doesn't do an investigation into these things, but she speaks before she's 100% knowledgeable, she can't have seen every angle. She can't have known. Hell, she was at a rodeo for one of these shits. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way she knows. So to give a statement that fast, that uninformed, I think that does a disservice to their movement. You know what I mean? So I think she has to clean that up. I think as a group, they have to clean that up because this is something they ran on. So if they're going to do it, I think it's cool. And I don't think however many people they slam to the ground or push to the ground, I don't think they win a state like Minnesota. So I don't think it really matters. Like all of that stuff they're asking for, I think they're so far behind in a state like that, winning something like that I don't think it's even possible. So I don't know if that would be something, but I guess it's cool to throw the conspiracies around there for the Democrats or whatever. You know what I mean? The Democrats have to say something. They have to have something to rile each other up. So now they, you know what I'm saying? That's their go-to right there, I guess. But that wouldn't be a strong case for me. I wouldn't give them that.
So it was a lot of Nazis said in that video, and Trump keeps getting compared to Hitler. So I want to play this video. Well, Slim, were there any similarities in that video?
Not at all. Not at all. I don't believe that bullshit. They just mad at my boy because he's doing a great job, man. I mean, that's just what it is. And the liberal-minded, the Democrats, they always gonna find something to throw the smoke in the air. The reality is the governor and the mayor is being investigated. So it's more to the story. God bless Brody's soul. God bless homegirl's soul. But they out there for a reason, and this is just the beginning.
Slim, so would you agree with the way that they responded and they handled these incidents with the ICE shootings? You think the administration handled these well?
It's not the administration. You got to remember, those are American citizens too. They got to get home.
They're making statements. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, do you think the administration has handled it well? The statements they've made, the actions they've taken, you think they've handled these situations well?
Absolutely.
And that's why y'all probably gonna lose the midterms.
I have a question.
Delusion. It's okay to say that's a bad ICE agent, bro. Every ICE agent isn't gonna be a good agent. It's okay to say, yo, that's what we're here for, but that's a bad ICE agent. When you say we handle it well, that's delusional. Anybody who looking could see that. If you come out here without knowing all the facts and you make a statement, that's not handling something well.
The reality is they are here for a reason. This is our new reality.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Wrong, and the ICE agents are here for a reason. They would have never been here if the
I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm not saying that. I agree with you, Slim. The ICE agents are there for a reason.
I'm gonna go to Ken, I'm gonna go to you next because I'm gonna play what everybody in the comments here for. So, the Trump is an anomaly, and the NRA actually turned against Trump. But here's the video.
The NRA has released a statement on Twitter speaking out against the comments made by the Trump administration. This is a very short statement, but it is in reference to that quote from the U.S. attorney for the Central District of California, who had said that if you approach law enforcement with a gun, there is a high likelihood they will be legally justified in shooting you. Don't do it. The NRA said in response, this sentiment from the first assistant U.S. attorney for the Central District of California is dangerous and wrong. Responsible public voices should be awaiting a full investigations, not making generalizations and demonizing law-abiding citizens. Other groups have spoken out against this as well, including Gun Owners of America, who said they are saddened by the loss of life in Minneapolis. They also condemned the attorney's comments. We also have the editor-in-chief of The Reload saying this is an insane claim, and he's clearly a right-wing guy. And here's another right-wing guy speaking out against this.
So, Ken, a lot of right-wing people have went against this, and the NRA is typically on the right, and they're coming out against it. But Trump is backtracking as well, but we're going to get into this. But respond to what you think about the NRA coming out saying that you can't go against law-abiding citizens.
I'm glad they made a statement, because I wanted to ask him, even Mr. Rippey, I'm like, yo, being a conservative, are you loyal to conservative principles and values or a conservative brand? Because what Doc was just asking, the AG came out and character assassinated this person without doing any research. So help me make sense. So when you're a conservative, are you automatically a cop? Are you automatically a Fed? Or do you look at things case by case? Because it seems like being on the conservative side is being loyal to a brand. Now, we ain't talking about liberals because they could do the same shit. We're talking about this right here. So, Slim, what Doc was asking you, he said, did she and those and the president handle that correctly? Because in 5 minutes, they character assassinated this man, called him a domestic terrorist, labeled him. But when the footage came out, here's how we know they were wrong. Because when the footage came out, TikTok began shadow banning. When we got that footage from the pink ladies from the pink coat, when we got that different angle, all of a sudden the algorithm started tripping because they was dead ass wrong.
Can you ticked off about that TikTok views, boy?
Yeah, because I had some fire I was trying to
poke. That pissed me off too. I'm shadow banned on the TikTok, and that upset me. That really upset me. I'm like real swimming for my life.
I was trying to post some fire, man. It was messing up my wiggle.
Who labeled him a terrorist?
Who labeled ICE terrorists? Elected officials in Minnesota. They labeled ICE terrorists, they labeled them all domestic terrorists. They said they're all Nazis. They're here to kill Americans. And now we have the people protesting ICE and getting shot. So it happens on both sides.
I don't agree with that. I'm only talking, no, but what Doc was asking,
that ICE agents are Nazis, and that's all open, just all open for whatever.
I don't agree with that. No, I'm saying though, Slim danced around a specific question that Doc was asking.
What question that I danced around on? Put me on.
Hold on.
Doc, what did you say to him?
Hold on, I'm gonna play this because this basically makes it all null and void because Trump is backtracking. This is what his press secretary had to say.
Confidence and trust in Secretary Noem. To the second question, I would point you back to what I said earlier. If Governor Walz and Mayor Fry implement these common sense cooperative measures, CBP will no longer be needed to support ICE on the ground in Minnesota. ICE and local law enforcement will peacefully work together as they are effectively doing in so many other states and jurisdictions to remove violent criminals from American neighborhoods across the country.
All right. So Mia, Trump made a tweet and he came out and he said positive things about Tim Walz. So you hear the right saying all these tampon Tim, this, and that. Trump comes out and he says, me and Tim Walz had a great conversation. We're going to work together, completely kind of backtracking and plans to pull ICE agents out of there. So is this all facade? Like, what's going on?
I mean, I'm sure there is some sort of deal made, and I think it's in Tim Walz and Jacob Fry's best interest to play ball with the feds because they know the investigation's coming and they know it's all a small house of cards when it comes to the fraud. And to be honest, if the federal government asks you for voter rolls, give it to them. If you have nothing to hide and you have common sense voter laws, you have nothing to fear. You should be able to hand those over because at the end of the day, states still have to abide by what the feds say. You know, the feds, they're like Big Brother and the rest of us live under them. So ultimately they have the say over what the rest of us do. I think all of this is just like one large distraction in Minnesota. And I think a lot of people are just falling for it. But I will say that Tom Homan is on his way up there, and that Bongino guy is being kicked out because he's making a mess. And I have a feeling we're going to see a drastically different ICE response because Tom Homan, he knows what he's doing when it comes to he worked for Obama. He knows exactly what he's doing. So hopefully we can see a lot less shootings of American citizens and a lot more vacating of migrants that shouldn't be here. But I will say a lot of people are kind of missing the point when a lot of this happens because we base our representation based off of bodies, not off of American citizens. So it is uniquely important that we vacate all of these illegals out of this country because it gives states extra seats that they don't deserve and that they don't need because we don't base it off of citizenry, like actual American citizens, we base it off of bodies. So California, Minnesota, and all of them will all lose a Democratic House seat because they have allowed so many illegals in. So it's imperative that we vacate all of these migrants that are here illegally out of the country so we can get back to the actual status quo. Because in actuality, Minnesota shouldn't be blue. Minnesota should be purple. Because if you looked at a county by county, town by town basis, it would be more of a 50-50. The only reason that Minnesota is blue is because they have so many illegal Somalis that are messing up the representation. But once we get it back correct, we will restore the status quo because most states should be a purple, a combination of red and blue.
Well, you brought up a good point.
How do you know how many illegal people are in a state?
There's a lot of guesstimates. The federal government has done a decent amount of guesstimates. Allegedly, up to 3 to 5 million came over during Biden's. And that's what the feds are saying came over. That's not what other people are saying. There could have been more, there could have been less. And I mean, I will say there's a pretty good argument. In 1 year, we vacated over 300,000 and counting now. I don't know what
How we don't know they ain't in Montana? What if they all went to
Montana?
Montana?
You're getting off topic. She brought up Tom Homan. I want to play that he basically took over the position and Kristen Noem got fired.
Decline. 96% less people are coming. How many women aren't being raped? How many children aren't dying making that journey? How many women and children aren't being sex trafficked into this country every day? How many known suspected terrorists aren't just walking across that border? President Trump and this administration is saving thousands of lives every month. Hard stop. That's just a stone cold fact. I'm just proud to be a part of this. I work with Steve Miller every day. Steve Miller is one of the most brilliant people I've met in my entire life. President.
So Slim, you like the MAGA people, so are you a fan of Tom Homan?
I am. I'm a fan of anybody who puts America first, bro. Like, that's just what it is with me. I'm not out here trying to protest nobody from another country who ain't supposed to be here. Stay your ass in the house. I ain't never danced around no question. Doc asked me
did I respect what the administration was doing, or do I think they handled it correctly? And then my response was absolutely. So what did I dance around?
That's not what he said. That's not what he asked you. That's not what he asked you. He
What
said, he said, do you agree with how the AG handled the shooting after it occurred? That's what he asked you.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Regardless, I do. I agree with everything.
So let me help the guys on the right out because they're saying it's all a facade. So this is what happened in the Obama administration with Tom Harmon.
A Washington Post headline from 9 years ago, 2016. Meet the man the White House has honored for deporting illegal immigrants. And I would remind everyone in this room that it was former President Barack Hussein Obama who awarded a medal to Mr. Homan. So he's obviously very qualified. He has.
And she dropped that middle name like she know him personally.
He will continue to have these meetings in the hopes that ICE and local law enforcement can cooperate and work together to have successful immigration enforcement, as we've seen in almost every other state across the country.
So, Mr. Rippey, you basically said it was all fake, and then he got this award under Obama. So does that make it seem like it's all smoke and mirrors?
That's exactly what it is. Especially what's going on right now. I'm telling you, this is all fake, and I'm not falling for it. It's a cover up for something else. And you know, everybody's talking about whenever everyone is in a court talking about something, I'm trying to figure out what's being covered up. Every single time. I'm not falling for this garbage because nobody had an issue when Obama did the same thing. He went up in people's houses and got people out and threw handcuffs on them. I know people that their family members happened to. And nobody said a word. Now they talking about the people that died in ICE custody, but more people died in Obama's ICE custody in 1 year. Like, this stuff is all silly. They're making people be outraged about something that they shouldn't be outraged about because they don't know shit.
Mia, you got a stalker. I'm back from Mia, from Nate. Okay, thanks, Nate. I saw you in the comments saying that you got here. But we're gonna get back to business. So there's another guy who did this, and the right looked at this totally different. So I'm gonna play this, and this is Fox News clip.
What frustrates people, you remember Kyle Rittenhouse and how he was made a hero on the right. I am sure there are people on the conservative side who are saying, wait a minute, you mean you can't take a firearm to a protest because you were just celebrating the guy for doing it a couple of years ago? Alex Pretti's firearm was lawfully being carried. It's lawful to carry a gun in Minnesota. He never brandished it. He didn't point it at the cops.
So, Doc, how do you feel about that when they had it? Oh, you.
I want to see what the conservatives feel about that. I want to see how they feel about it.
He actually took a picture with Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, I took a picture with Kyle Rittenhouse. I had a long conversation with him. Yeah. But it's like, I'm gonna let Mia go first. She had her hand raised.
Oh my god! I mean, that guy has a point. This is one of the biggest things that it's the hypocrisy of a lot of people, because whether you agree that Alex Pretti man should have been on the street or he should have been in that situation, as a United States citizen, we have the right of the Second Amendment to bear arms. That varies from state to state, but in Minnesota specifically, you can carry. You can't just because you don't like this man or like why he was there or like his point of view. He has the right to carry as a legal American citizen. He was a lawful legal American citizen. Plenty of people carry, whether it's Walmart, whether it's in Target, whether it's on the curb, whether it's in their car. You are afforded that right in the United States. He was not illegally carrying. He wasn't brandishing it around. It was on him and it was concealed. However, he legally had it. I don't understand why people think that you can't carry in the United States in places. I absolutely agree with the NRA. Why are we assigning intent when that man thus far didn't commit any negative crime? Like, I don't get it. You can't have it both ways. It doesn't work like that. It's the Second Amendment.
Before you
I agree. I have yet to hear anybody say that looking at him negative like that because he had a gun. Like, we understand that you are allowed to carry a gun to a protest. That's not a problem. I think honestly, I'm all for the Second Amendment. Carry your gun. I carry my gun everywhere I go. the difference between Kyle Rittenhouse and this guy was Kyle Rittenhouse was not approaching law enforcement, and they also knew that he had a gun. That's the only difference. I have no issue with him carrying a gun to a protest. I have no issue with Kyle Rittenhouse carrying a gun. I'm glad he had that gun. Kyle Rittenhouse had that gun because the media spit his story and turned him into a evil person, which he's definitely not. And they turned this other guy into a saint. Now I'm not saying I'm against this other guy, Alex, whatever his name was. I'm not against him. I'm just saying I have not heard anyone on the right complain at the fact that he had a gun. We all say the same thing. If you have a gun, you're gonna be approaching law enforcement. You're gonna look like you're being a little bit aggressive. Let them know that you're actually carrying. That's our only point.
So before we go to the next person, let's hear what the actual police chief had to say.
If there is an investigation that ultimately proves that at the time of the shooting it was legally justified, I don't think that even matters at this point, because there is so much outrage and concern around what is happening in the city.
What do you mean it doesn't matter at this point? You mean the situation on the ground is already, the impression is left?
The precinct and not doing their jobs.
People have had enough. This is the third shooting now in less than 3 weeks. The Minneapolis Police Department went the entire year last year recovering about 900 guns from the street, arresting hundreds and hundreds of violent offenders, and we didn't shoot anyone. And now this is the second American citizen that's been killed. It's the third shooting within 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. People have been speaking out, saying that this was going to happen again. And I think everyone is kind of waiting for folks on both sides to come together and just figure this thing out. This is not sustainable. This police department has only 600 police officers. We are stretched incredibly thin. This is taking an enormous toll trying to manage all of this chaos on top of having to be the police department for a major city. It's too much.
Doc, you want your turn now?
Yeah, so I got Gray, you went on tour, right? One of the biggest conversations they had was one of the things that, and I've never been a police officer, so I imagine it's probably different. One of the things that they stressed to us and that they, beat in our heads basically was ROE, rules of engagement, right? Guys are walking around Iraq with rifles, with AK-47s, and we have to engage them. We have to talk to them every day. And him having a firearm is not a right for me to shoot him. So I see a lot of people saying, don't approach an officer with a gun, or if you're armed or something like that, right? Who says you're not allowed to interact with somebody? That's not like giving him the right to kill you. You have to threaten his life. And I hear people say, I hear a lot of people say, well, stay home. Why are you protesting for illegals? I wouldn't go do it, right? But it's their right. So I ask people, what rights are you willing to give up then, since you don't want people to use their rights however they see fit? You don't get to determine and tell Americans when they can use their right. We sit on here and we're using our right for free speech. I get on TikTok, everybody's using their right for free speech. People are using their Second Amendment rights. People use their right for anonymity on the Fourth Amendment every day. But we can't tell people when they're doing something we don't agree with, hey, you shouldn't do it. If they have the legal right to do it, it's not breaking the law. And I think that's what's getting misconstrued of what the line of the law is. That officer didn't have the right to shoot, and he shot a man in the back who was on the ground, and they had already disarmed him. So I think people don't get it, that I think it's okay to say, yo, that's a bad agent. Trump is gonna have his initiative with immigration, but that's a bad agent, or this other guy's a bad agent, and we need to get those people out of here. You know what I mean? But when you can't say that, then you get in this rabbit hole of where you put the people against the government. You know what I mean? And we are all the people. We should all be together.
So
and I said that at the beginning. So sorry, but when Ken asked that question, I said that in the beginning. I said I think that this cop did overreact. He probably did break the law. He probably did break the rules. I don't know. I'm not investigating the case. So I'm willing to admit that if I think that somebody in this from this administration has done something wrong. Now, people have the right to protest. That's fine. People exercise your right to protest. If you disagree with something, go out and protest against it. My only issue is stop approaching law enforcement, interfering, even getting close to them. That's against the law right there. That's a felony offense. And it's like, that's the only thing I would try to say. You can be out there protesting, you can be out there yelling, saying what you want to say. It's not going to make a difference. I think it's retarded. But all I'm saying is stop impeding, stop going near them, and just let them do what they do. If you have an issue, record it and put it out there.
I'm gonna go to you next, Ken. I'm just gonna play this guy what he had to say about a protest, and then I'm gonna go to you.
It was definitely that. I just know there's a lot of heavy hearts, and a lot of things, especially this Minneapolis community. Yesterday was rough. It's been rough, I know, out here, and you can kind of feel it when we got here, whatever, 2 days ago. Protests that were going on downtown. It was amazing to watch the turnout and peaceful protests, and the unified voice that was here. And you feel like that.
I hope they didn't pay him for this because he's fucking it up.
They paid him for this.
I hope they didn't pay him for this because they ain't getting their money's worth.
You know what it is.
They don't even know what happened.
They gave him the same.
They don't know what happened.
They gave him the same check they gave Nikki. They gave him the same check they gave Nikki to get up there and sing and dance.
Like they did everybody for the DNC, all the other celebrities. But it's funny, I heard to point out Nicki Minaj and everybody else that got paid $1.5 billion for the Kamala Harris campaign went to a bunch of celebrities.
They asked Steph Curry at an interview. Ain't nobody care about Nicki political opinion. They asked Steph Curry at an interview.
Why they ain't asked Steph Curry about Lincoln Riley? Why they ain't asked Steph about Lincoln Riley? Why he ain't had that type of?
They don't care.
He only answered the questions they ask him, bro. What you want him to do?
Actually, man, come on. I don't even want to get into it.
Go ahead, kid.
I personally hate that so much. Like, world events happen. They're like, hold on, let me get Steve Kerr on the line to get his thoughts. Right. Why?
Right.
Why?
Yeah.
Yo, no.
And
for real, I do be like, sometimes shut up and dribble. Who's the person? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was extremely smart. Jim Brown, people like that, right? But I'm just saying, though, putting people the microphone in because they're popular, why the fuck does their opinion matter? I don't even think these people read. You know what I'm saying? They're good at sports. And for real, I hate the way it sounds. Some people need to just shut up and dribble. Like that was a waste. Steph Curry is nasty when it comes to pull up threes and step backs and all that. Right. But commentary about this, you don't have the bandwidth. And what it does, though, is it makes poor people feel like they're a part of the same class with people that make $300 million. And you're not. This is a very rich person. This will not even find him, because if an ICE agent fucks with Steph Curry, they'll be working in Siberia. Not happening. Right? So I don't like this. I don't like this.
I think it's unfair though, Ken. I think it's unfair Ken, because Steph is coming up here and he doesn't know this question is coming. These people who we sit up here, they fuck it up and they have people write their speeches and responses for them. They're prepped before they go step in front of the camera. Steph didn't know this question was coming. He's coming up here to talk about basketball.
But Doc, this is after a game, but they have to have the courage to be like, I'm not that informed on the matter. I'm not that informed. You don't have, so here's what I don't like about the left shit, right? They put the microphone in your face and you're supposed to be able to talk about every single thing. I don't
Doc,
like
they
that.
do prep them.
If you don't know about Palestine and Israel, you can't know it based on clips. You know, that's a whole history, right? So it's okay to say, you know what, no comment right now. No comment, because they don't have a problem saying no comment to other shit, right? Just say no comment. I'll look into it. They're media trained. They don't have. If Steph Curry had a contract negotiation coming up, right? And they asked him, are you going to be here next year? He'd be like, man, I'm just focused on playing the game right now. I'm just focused on basketball right now. No comment. So I'm just saying, if you're not the guy or the girl for that moment, it's okay.
You
But
brought me
shut up
to
and
my
dribble.
next clip, Ken, because this is gonna be the last clip, and this is my favorite rapper. Well, he's not my favorite. Wayne, my favorite, but he in the top 3. And this is what he said about Trump.
Make America slime again. Like, what does that title mean to you?
I mean, follow whatever Trump applying.
Follow whatever Trump applying.
Yeah.
What in what way? Like,
You sure
in
that's
every way.
it looks
well,
like
you know, Trump pardoned you, got you off house arrest.
I don't know nothing about that.
What you mean? Did you ever speak to him about, like, did you ever have a...
No, nothing about that.
Right.
and he a platform furry boots.
Okay.
The fur.
But the album's name Make America Slime Again. The tour is named Make America Slime Again.
Boy, killing me. Chill.
It was
Boy, killer. He
the
might hunt
name
us
was
down.
like
Relax.
it's just to enforce whatever Trump applying. That's it.
Have you ever met Trump?
Why do you keep asking?
Because you got me thinking right now, YB, like
200 people left that page. So to all the white people in the comments, that was NBA YoungBoy. I know y'all probably know who he is, but that was NBA YoungBoy. But great show, guys. Most definitely my first show back. If you're watching right now, hit that subscribe button and press that notification bell. Know we go live. Slim, what's your final thoughts?
Oh man, Justice for Lincoln Riley. She was basically raped and unalived by an illegal immigrant, and nobody actually mentioned that. So I want to keep that name alive because now it's so important. But if ICE was here, that wouldn't have happened. But good show, Man Cave.
Sure, Mia, what's your final thoughts?
If you're Black American, stay home. Stay home. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I don't know how many times I have to come here and say this every freaking day I'm on this panel. Stay home. Go to work, pay your bills, stay home, get good credit. That's all you need. That's the recipe for success. Stop fucking with these crazy people out here because they will shoot you. They're shooting white people now. They're going to shoot you. So just stay home, relax, pay your bills, keep your lights on. It's cold outside. And follow me on Instagram because TikTok no longer works. So now I'm on Instagram Reels at It's Mia Not Maya. Go follow me on Instagram.
For sure. Dot, what's your final thoughts?
I followed you, Mia, so you got one more follower. Don't worry. It's so tough, like because I think people don't realize a job has to be done, and I don't think the best job is being done. So I think that's my contention with some of this is that I realize that a job is going to be done, and there's people who are tasked with doing it, but the best job isn't being done. And I think it's okay to say that as well. I think it's okay to say that, hey, this administration won and they're going to implement these things and they're going to do this job. And I think it's okay also to say, hey, we're looking at it and I don't think the best job is being done. And I think people on both sides have to be open and realize the criticisms of their side. People are so far left and so far right that they're becoming more pro-government and less for the people. So I just hope we can come together as Americans.
Mr. Rippey.
My final thought, just like Mia said, yo, if you Black, this ain't our fight, and you already know what's gonna happen. So just chill out and understand that we have never been for illegal immigration. All of a sudden they propping these Black people are these so-called Black leaders. It's funny because Black community the only people that feel as if we need a Black leader. It's so fucking stupid. But propping them up and going against ICE, even though the Black community is against ICE. I mean, I'm from Detroit. I mean, not against ICE, but for ICE and against illegal immigration. We all say the same thing. These illegal immigrants coming here, taking our resources, taking our jobs, kicking our kids out of schools to make room for illegal immigrants. And they want to replace the Black vote for the Democrats because Democrats are losing the Black vote and they want to get the illegal immigrants. So open your eyes and see what's going on. Also, understand that they are paid agitators. You can take it all the way back in the 90s when Stella Lightback sued McDonald's. They had paid agitators to make her an enemy and make McDonald's look like the good guy. So understand that what you see is all theater.
Ken, what's your final thoughts?
I don't know. I disagree, Mr. Rippey. We were just illegal immigrants in Venezuela last month when we went and grabbed a president out of his country. We were the immigrants. So let's be clear on that. But the problem I have with all this is the class solidarity. I already know these ICE agents ain't getting paid $150,000, $200,000. They're middle class people, right? So they're in the streets going at other middle class people. Regardless what the government says, we should always unite based on our class. If the government gives instructions that's not righteous to you, my question for people is, when does your religion supersede your politics? If your religion says that the behavior that you're doing is unrighteous, why would you still do it? Right? And if anything, we are the same based on class, right? So I would like to see us come together based on our class situation, because at the end of the day, going back and forth with ICE agents is not that wise, because they're not the head of the snake. You don't see the head of the snake. The head of the snake are rich. These ICE agents ain't balling like that. So you have people that's living check to check, and I already know they're getting called Nazis and shit like that. And you broke? Hell yeah, you gonna shoot somebody, because you ain't even making no money like that.
So for my final thoughts, I just came back from a cruise, and one of the biggest things that happened, or what I heard eavesdropping, where people were mad about a comedian. So they got a comedy show on there, and this guy was making jokes about Charlie Kirk, Trump, all this stuff. And I was on there with a lot of Southern whites, and I don't really talk about race, but these people, they weren't what you would think that they would act like. They were extremely nice to these minorities and everything like that. And they hated getting called out, and they hated having to hear about politics on vacation. And I actually agree with them. I didn't want to hear about politics. So basically what I say is, act how you act with people and do what's right, and then you won't feel uncomfortable about it. So have a good night. Man Cave, come back and see us Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Before we wrap, I want to take a quick moment to talk about how you can support the new party. We are an independent media platform. No corporate backers, no political handlers, just a collection of voices representing all American viewpoints, especially the stories they don't want you talking about.
I'm disgusted with our government, and it doesn't matter which party you're talking about. I'm disgusted.
We are watching an active genocide. I don't know how else to put it. There are thousands of people getting killed every day.
This is the first time in history that an American cardinal has ever been elevated to pope. It is legitimately make America great again.
Yeah.
Like, they're fighting for illegal immigrants, not immigrants. Illegal. Like, and they burning the flag and shit.
Like I always say, it was a great episode. I'm happy with the wins that Donald Trump's.
Like you heard Nora Skeptic say, we're going to keep bringing like different types of content and things that we know people want to see. And like we always say on the New Party, always vote.
If you believe Americans can still have civil discourse, even in these polarizing times, we need your help to stay independent and keep growing. You can support us by donating to our GoFundMe page, becoming a channel member, sending a super chat, or grabbing merch from the New Party store. Every donation goes directly toward growing the channel promotion and our upcoming documentary. And as a thank you, donors will receive an exclusive copy of the documentary 1 week before it premieres. Who is the New Party? We're you, your voice, your stories, your America. We can only do this together. So if you're able, please donate and help us get the message out.